Hello there. Welcome to Recycle Bin episode, I don't know, is it 9? What is that face for?
Something like that.
What's the
it
problem?
Feels weird. You didn't do your funny little intro, man.
It's bad every week, though. It's literally the worst every single week. What's the date? It's June 16th, 2018. Terrible time. Every time I did like a fake intro for the show, I'm like, and this week we're going to talk about and the coming up. And then I play the Recycle Bin intro. It's like lame. Thank you for driving by, you ridiculous motorcycle.
You're the only one that thinks that. Everyone else likes it.
Last night, it was awful. So I was recording a video late last night, and this is completely unrelated to everything. I was recording a video last night, and there was people fighting outside, and like I had headphones on, but I heard a bunch of commotion. I was like, something going on? So I open the window and I look, and there's just people, like there's two people on the street screaming back and forth to each other. Some guy slammed his phone down, like shattered it on, he's like, I don't care about this, and slammed it on, and he stole the girl's car keys and her house keys, and she couldn't get in the house, so she called the cops, and it was this whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with what we normally talk about, but it just like came into my head because of the loud person outside, and I was like, wow, what if someone fought while we were recording? I would definitely record it.
I like how your brain works, because you just totally like, I said something, and you just deflected it and said like, oh yeah, so last night. And
what
you just went right into it. Doesn't matter.
I'm focused, man. I'm focused. Someone said,
no, you're not.
John, are you recording? Yes, I am, in fact, recording. So today we're just kind of going to be casual again. We're going to let the live chat steer the conversation today. As always, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we live stream Recycle Bin. We're recording live on YouTube for about a half hour. We do a pre-show and a post-show, so if you're listening to this after the fact, maybe you're watching the episode on YouTube, that's really cool. But if you don't watch it live, then you missed the pre-show, you missed the post-show, and usually the post-show gets a little crazy. I think last week I put a vacuum on the microphone and sucked it was a whole thing. Anyway, Brian, how are you? I forgot to ask you. You woke up from a nap, and I wanted to know how you are.
Oh, yeah. I almost missed the podcast from a nap. It was just so good. I didn't want to wake up. But I'm good, man. Just good. Just living life. Got my plant right there. He's doing good.
What's the plant's name? Lucky?
His name is Lucky. Yeah, he's still alive. Through, like, all of my efforts, he's still alive because we can't keep anything alive in the house except the cat. But she does her own thing. She fights back. But no, man, it's good. I'm ready to talk about stuff on the podcast. Also, wow, I froze hardcore. Holy crap.
You're frozen? What are you talking about?
I froze really hard.
Oh, I didn't even see it. Okay, so we'll start with the chat. Let them steer. Prasoon says, what do you guys think about the Vivo Nex? It's called the Vivo Nex without the T. And
it's pretty cool.
Cool, yeah. I mean, it's another Chinese like thing. The software on the phone is totally a bad knockoff of iOS. It is every time on these phones. So if you look past that and you just look at the hardware, pretty impressive design. And a lot of people are throwing a fit about the mechanical selfie camera, like coming in and out, or in, out, and in. And I don't have a problem with it. I really like it.
Why is this the first phone to come out that's like truly notchless? And
yeah.
What? I mean, I guess it has its hang-ups, like the camera that pops out of it, shit like that, which is not really optimal. I don't really want a pop-up camera. Yeah,
it's not ideal, but I'm still cool with it. And like people are like, it's not truly bezel-less. It has a chin. The chin is like that big, and I will repeat,
it's really impressive.
Even that is better than a notch. I will take that every time over a notch. No one asked. We don't need completely full all bezel-less. When I bitch about the notch, all I'm asking for is just not a notch.
Right.
Look at my phone. I don't give a fuck about bezels. I just don't want the notch.
Clearly.
I just don't want
that is a big ass bezel. Or chin and forehead.
Something I wanted to bring up was in yesterday's episode of Front Page Tech, I mentioned that I think the now get ready for chat to blow up. I think the 6.1 inch LCD model of the iPhone this year, one of the 2018 iPhones. Like tech blogs and stuff are calling it sort of budget, but I wouldn't categorize it as a budget phone. It's just going to be a more accessible iPhone for the most part. Price range like $600, $650.
Right.
LCD screen, and for the most part, I think here we go, Viper. For the most part, I'm entirely convinced that it will outsell the other 2 models this year, or other 3 models. I don't know, whatever, however many phones Apple produces this year. But and it's not that people got confused and they're like, OLED is way better than LCD. And no one is saying. I am not claiming, okay, that the 6.1-inch LCD model is going to be a better phone, like in any way.
Right.
It's not going to be the superior phone. The iPhone, the like follow-up iPhone 10, the iPhone 10 Plus, they're going to be way, 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 way better phones, way more premium, and that's fine. I'm simply stating that from an average consumer standpoint, it will definitely outsell the other phones, and I think Apple's convinced of that too. I mean, the reports are saying that they're actually going to like purchase more orders and in terms of like production of the LCD model over the other 2 OLED models. Brian, what do you think? I'm curious because I haven't really heard your opinion on it yet.
Well, I echo what you think. The fact that it's going to look almost the same is huge. People want the phone, like they want the new look. And people are using old iPhones all over the place. So when they essentially are going to see, wait, this is the new iPhone, and this is a new iPhone, new unbox, and it's half the price almost of the really awesome one. Yeah, I'll take that. I don't, it's going to be full of middle-aged moms and like dads who don't understand tech, and people who just want a cool-looking phone that don't want to spend $1,000.
Where is the disconnect? Right, like. Why? Because I said that the average consumer is not going to care. They're not going to know the difference between LCD and OLED. They're just going to see it looks the same, and they're going to be cool with that. But for some reason, Viper, who's in chat, and a few other people like threw a fit that I said that the Apple user base they're just a bunch of average consumers. Average consumers rule the roost in terms of Apple stuff, Android stuff, PC. That's just how it is. There's more average consumers than there are people like us, right? I mean, you work at Best Buy.
And also, I wouldn't say Apple's full of average consumers. That used to be their target. Anymore, I feel like it's Apple fans. Like there's a very clear divide between the two. There's the vocal minority of people who will camp outside an Apple store, and that's when you think Apple, you think those people. You don't think,
of course,
the people who just want phones to work, or the people who have just been using iPhones since they got a smartphone and don't know any better. Like they don't want to branch out and try new things, because Android, for the most part, has always gone after the not even directly. It's gone after the crowd that Apple's turned away, where it's like they don't have expandable storage. The people who want to tinker with things, the people who want a little bit more out of their smartphone. So Apple has kind of attracted the average consumer, but anymore, I don't think that's their target.
That is
ironically.
What are you saying?
Well, no, I'm saying like they're targeting average consumers, but not like the same average that something that Android attracts.
Like average.
Like there's two different levels of average. It's weird. Yeah, there's definitely a difference.
That's been the whole point of Apple products, is to be like super intuitive and easy to use and universal for everybody. It just works. That's the thing. It just works. And for example, they're going to Viper's tell him, Brian, tell him. No, you can't. You cannot convince me. You just cannot.
Well,
okay,
no,
so Apple reportedly
hang on, real quick.
Go ahead.
I agree with you. It's going to sell better. I just need you to know that. Like that phone's going to sell.
You don't think Apple's core user base is just a bunch of average consumers? You think there's 100 million super passionate Apple fans?
That you're just no, not at all. What I'm saying is the difference between an average Apple consumer and an average consumer in general is there's a fan bias with Apple. Like if it was just an average consumer, it'd be like, yeah, whatever smartphone does the job. Like I don't care. That's average consumer.
Okay.
People who stick with Apple are sticking with it for a specific reason, and that reason can also keep them with an iPhone 6 still. So when they see a almost half price iPhone 10, they're going to jump on that shit.
Yeah.
Like I would jump on that.
Like
I
wouldn't even so the people that just walk in and get any phone for
Yeah.
Any phone that's like that just fits in their price range. Just like, all right, here's my money. Which phone should I get? I feel like those aren't even the average consumers. Like those are on the other spectrum. There's like the really super passionate. I know what I want. I love technology. Right. There's that side. There's the middle, which is the average consumers, and then there's the people that literally just don't care. Right? I feel like there's average consumers on either side. You can still be a fan of like Apple stuff and Android stuff, and for the most part, like a good portion of Apple fans, I would say, or people that like always have an iPhone, never really tell the difference between iPhone 6 to iPhone 8.
Also true. Yeah.
Like, I most of the time they just hear a new iPhone's out and they just go get it. It's time to upgrade, so they get the new iPhone.
Made a good point. They said it's for rich average consumers. And I think I think that's kind of telling, because Apple, and even in budget mindset, gives off a very premium feel. So I think it does. It's like the above average consumer. It's not as simple as that, but yeah, that phone is going to sell incredibly well, especially if it like runs fine, has no glaring issues, and people also forget that it might not be the same LCD technology, but people before the recent OLED, iPhones have had LCD and it's been fine.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like they introduced OLED this year and suddenly, we would never go back to LCD. Yes, you would.
You can't go back.
You totally would. The average consumer would.
Yeah.
Most people that have an iPhone 10 don't know there's no OLED display in it. They don't know.
Put it this way. What's the manufacturing difference cost? Was it like $40, like $100, something like that?
Yeah, so it costs like $110 up to $130 for Apple to buy the OLED display from Samsung per device. Yeah. Whereas the LCD display they get for like $40.
Yeah, put it in this perspective. If someone was like, so you can get the iPhone 10 for $60 less with this screen, or $60 more for this screen. Yeah. People would choose the LCD screen. They wouldn't care.
That's the thing. So and a lot of people use, like in the show last night, people were using the argument that, well, when the iPhone 5S was out, people didn't go and buy the iPhone 5C over the iPhone 5S.
There's a huge
this year,
there.
Like the iPhone 8 was cheaper-ish, but still people bought more iPhone 10s than the iPhone 8. Well, of course they did. This is the first time in years that an iPhone has dramatically looked different. And of course they're going to go for that one. And we still don't know the actual numbers. Tim Cook in the call with shareholders was like, consistently people chose the iPhone 10 over other devices. But like by how much? How much iPhone 10s actually sold more than the iPhone 8 and stuff like that? Like I'm just curious what the actual numbers. People didn't buy the phone because it's super premium and it has the OLED display. They don't give a fuck. They bought the phone because for the first time in years, it looks different. It's an iPhone that dramatically looks different. And like, Viper had mentioned, I'll tell you this, Viper right now, and who's in chat, who like is very passionate about this topic on the other side. Usually I can get Viper to sort of like listen and sway with my opinions, but he's not budging. I will bet Viper right now. He doesn't even have to bet me money. Okay, Brian, this is how confident I'm in. He doesn't have to pay me money. If I'm right, I'm right. Okay. If I'm wrong and Viper's right, I'll give him $500. I will give him $500. That is how confident I am in this.
Okay.
That's not a lie. I will do it. I don't give a fuck.
I don't think it's I really think you're correct. I mean, traditionally speaking, cheaper things sell better. Like if you can make something cheaper, and for like a minor, this is what I see it as. I see it as a minor loss of quality for a massive price difference. And that's all it takes. That's just basic, like, that's business in a sense. Like, I'm not a businessman, even close, but
that's the thing. This phone is not going to dramatically like look different. It's not going to look cheaper and plasticky and shitty like the other ones were. And someone said, Apple wouldn't make a budget or cheaper phone. They absolutely would. We're not dealing with the same Apple. I am confident. I said in January that for some reason I got this weird feeling that Google's going to start tripping over themselves and make really stupid decisions, and Apple's going to start to figure it out. Which I'm glad that I think they should figure it out by this point. Like, we've had so many years of Apple tripping over themselves that I think it's about time they like buckle down and figure this stuff out. They refined iOS. Exactly what I said in January, what we needed. Then the reports started coming out that they were going to do it, and then they did it. At WWDC, we got a refined iOS 12. Just better, more optimized experience. And it's like twice the speed of iOS, of the current iOS 11.4. I don't know what the current version is.
Whatever.
But we're not dealing with the same Apple. And that's what I think people need to figure out is like, and this is, I'm labeling myself for really the first time. Because I don't think I'm a tech reporter necessarily. I'm not a journalist. I think at this point I would be comfortable labeling myself as like an analyst. Not like a really good analyst, but like that's what I do. I look at the fucking market, I look at all the news for the day, and I judge, I give my opinion, and I analyze, and I usually predict the next move. And 9 times out of 10 have been correct. There was that Lenovo thing.
8. Yeah, John, you're an analyst. You anal. That's what you do every day.
I do the anal, and that's how I know. But I'm telling you right now, and if you don't believe me right now, you're soon just gonna have to figure it out and realize it that Apple is not the same Apple as they've been the past few years. We're getting reports now that all iPhone models are going to be cheaper this year. Like the iPhone 10 Plus is going to be the one that hovers around $1,000. The follow-up iPhone 10. And keep in mind, to get an iPhone 10 currently, it's like, it could go up to like $1,200, $1,400. iPhone 10 Plus are going to be starting, like hovering around the $1,000 mark. The follow-up iPhone 10 will be like $800 to $900. And then you have this like LCD model that I've seen reports of $550. I don't feel comfortable in saying that it's going to be $550. I feel like $600,
that's real low.
$650, maybe even $700. Either way, it would be cheaper. And it's just, and like, I've heard the arguments as well. Is like, well, why would people want a cheaper iPhone? If they want like a cheaper phone, they just go get an Android device. But we're already past that. This is not a software discussion. People have already decided iOS. This is
one thing.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, one thing that I did see brought up in chat that I really heavily agree with, and I think is a major factor that people aren't giving credit to, is the fact that this is a cheaper entry into the Apple ecosystem as well. Like, this isn't going to be a shit experience. Yeah, pretty much. Like, this is going to get you into your friends' iMessages. This is going to get you into FaceTime. Mm-hmm. All the cool little Apple features that people want, especially the average consumer, they want the Apple ecosystem. Yeah. And this is going to be the quickest, easiest path into it. They won't have to drop $1,000 to have, look at my cool new phone. It'll, those would be right in, and no one will be able to tell.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great gateway drug for Apple to get people into iOS. Oh, by the way, before we continue with the Q&A and everything in the chat, which this devolved into just, I don't know, noises, I'm going to tell you about this week's sponsor for Recycle Bin, and that is Ease US. Listen, people, we've all been there. You deleted some stuff you shouldn't delete. You deleted it, it's gone forever, or maybe you formatted a drive, or maybe you just lost it. Like, you just, I don't know where it's at, it's gone. I don't remember deleting it, but now it's gone. Good news, it's not gone. You can get it back, and Ease US makes it real simple. They have a version for Windows and Mac. The link is down in the description below. It's simple. You just download it, and it takes care of it for you. Their slogan is pretty simple. Make your life easy, and that's exactly what this thing does. In fact, I have the issue right now where one of my hard drives is dying. It's just like over time, my files just disappear. I don't know where they go. Like the space, I don't have new space in the hard drive. The files are just gone. They just disappear. And usually it's like really important stuff. For example, I needed assets that I used for Breaking Point, and I lost them because my hard drive just got rid of them. I used Ease US and literally just scanned it. Was like, okay, here, they're not gone. Here you go. And I was like, oh, that's a miracle. This is magic. So go ahead and download it. It's completely free. The link is down in the description below. If you go ahead and download it and use that link, it lets them know that we sent you. So huge thanks to Ease US for sponsoring and supporting the show. Okay, chat.
So
you steer us
real quick. How much time do we have left? Do we have enough time for more topics?
Yeah, 10 minutes ish, maybe more. Who cares?
Viper responded to what we had said about like the budget iPhone 10, whatever it is, being a cheap gateway. He said there are already several cheaper gateways into the iOS ecosystem. You're not wrong, but none of those are brand new.
It's not the new phone. Yeah.
Yeah, none of those are the new look, the new style, the new hotness, the new technology. You know, they're all slightly
that is the point I'm trying to hammer home. That this is going to look like a new phone. This isn't going to look like the downfall of the iPhone 5C was because it looked like a shitty plastic phone.
Right.
Like Apple Apple shouldn't dabble in both things. They should make really premium stuff and then like there's a shitty thing. Leave that to the fuckers over at Android.
Right. And that's not what this is going to be. This is going to be a compromise, but not the same level of compromise as the 5C. Yeah. It's like at this point, Apple's not going to put out a subpar piece of technology. Yeah. We won't talk about the HomePod, but
yeah, it's going to be fucking ridiculous. And you know, I've been hard on Apple for a while. People just say I hate Apple, which is not true. I want them to succeed, and this is going to be a crazy year. I think they've learned a lot of lessons. They never nothing really failed, I guess, with the iPhones this year. They sold okay. They didn't meet expectations, but they still sold. I think they learned a lesson though in price range. They're gonna if they start to give people in the market an option, a new option this year. Everyone gets a new option. You just pick your price range. It's gonna be fucking ridiculous. They're gonna sell so many.
Put it this way. I am firmly done with Apple for the time being. Like I'm cool with my OnePlus. However, like if this phone comes out and it's sub $700, I'll consider getting one just because like, well, fuck it. I mean, this is a new phone, but like it's not even a big deal at that point. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a much more comfortable, digestible price than dropping $1,000 on a fucking cell phone.
Right. I mean, and
we should move off of this.
Yeah, for the most part, like you have payment plans and stuff that help and take care of that, but I'm still convinced that this lower price model will sell ridiculous. Roberto Blake said, Google needs to get out of the hardware business already, and I gotta kind of... Like, my expectations for Google are just gone. I don't care. Like...
It really is.
As soon as we saw... So, I was really excited for the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL, but then I saw it, and then we saw the launch, obviously, which was a total disaster. And I was like, all right, you got to really make up for this next year. It is now next year. I was hopeful, and then I saw the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL. Pixel 3 XL specifically, and I don't give a fuck. Just do whatever you want. Just go away. I don't.
What are they doing?
You're doing the wrong thing.
You would think Google would have, like, okay, maybe we have it wrong, right?
Go ahead.
Like,
oh, you mean
Google has access? No, maybe we have like our image of what Google should be wrong. Maybe Google knows, like, they have all this data, right? They know Google searches, they see trends. So maybe based on their data, people actually do want a notch or don't care, right? So maybe all the shit looking Pixel leaks are like calculated moves on Google's part.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
You think they're doing it on purpose?
Put it this way.
Sway?
What I'm saying is,
are they going to swerve us like old days in wrestling?
Listen, what I think, there's no way Google can make such shit phones like on purpose without some other plan, or like it's so dumb. Like, how can they make them so bad without having a plan?
I just feel like they're not. It's like they're not even thinking anymore. I don't even. Like this obviously wasn't a calculated thing. Like no one sat at a table for a while with a team full of people and designers and engineers and tried to make the best phone possible. They're just like, what would get us through this year? What would just be an excuse for
That's
a phone
what it
release?
Feels like. But I just can't believe Google would be that careless.
I wonder if it's because it never matters. Like the Pixel devices don't sell a bunch. It's not a substantial amount of money for Google, and they just put stuff out. Maybe there's not enough demand for them to even give a single shit.
Yeah, they could just be using them as transportation into the ecosystem. You know, getting them on Android on the services and stuff. Who knows? But I don't. Yeah. God, why are they so bad?
Life of Tech said this could be the year for Apple. I mean, they've had really great years, obviously. And I told you, again, this is another one of those times where it's going to be a long, long payoff, but it's going to be so worth it when I play back the clip of me saying, I have this weird feeling that Apple is going to start making the right moves and Google is going to shit their britches. That will be so satisfying, Brian. You know how much I love to say that I'm right. By the way, fun fact, I've been like researching stuff about CEOs and routines and like just how to not be a fucking garbage shit pile human.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to be able to do more and be worth something. So, don't pity me in the comments.
No, don't pity him.
I looked up a bunch of routines. Tim Cook's routine is fucking nuts. The dude wakes up at 3:45 a.m. He does emails at 4, and he's in the gym by like 6. And then he goes into Apple, gets a head start in front of everybody else, and then leaves at like 9 to 10 p.m.
But there's a difference, though. Whenever all these CEOs have crazy routines, or all these like high ups, these project managers, people running companies have these crazy routines, they don't really have like. It's not like they're waking up at this time, 3:45, doing emails, going to the gym, and then they go fucking work like a blue collar job.
Yeah.
Like, how much of that is actually him working? You know what I mean?
I would say a lot of it.
Like, he leaves super late.
I think it could be sort of grouped in. So, like, with us, even when we work really hard, is it really work? Like, we made this shit up. It's like, we enjoy it. So, I think it could be like, although I doubt that Tim Cook completely enjoys everything he does on a daily basis, being the CEO of that company. But
I'm not minimizing his achievements or anything, but how much of his workday is just him nodding? You know what I mean? Like walking into a meeting, sitting down, and just nodding.
I mean, I would pay him just to be Tim Cook at this point too.
Exactly.
There's a comment I wanted to address. Oh, somebody said, so you don't think the iPhone SE is happening? Talk about that a little. So,
perfect. Yeah.
He just super chatted. So I don't want to say that it's not happening. What would be sort of a smart move for Apple? I think 3 phones, like we have rumors that that this LCD model is going to be delayed till November, but ideally it would be 3 phones released at the same event. Here's all the new iPhones. Pick one.
Right.
But there is that like wild card of that 4th iPhone SE 2. And man, like at first I was like excited about it, but now I think like this price range would be totally perfect, or these set of phones would be perfect, and they shouldn't fuck with it. Ideally, I would like to see this LCD model be the iPhone X or the iPhone X SE. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah,
I'm afraid though that that's not what Google's or what. So, sorry there, committed a sin. I'm afraid that that's not what Apple's going to do, and they will release a 4th phone at some point. I want to say they're not going to do that, because that would be the smart thing to do, would be not to give us a 4th phone and stick with the 3, go all in. Like, this is the fucking future. Do this. iPhone X SE, and please everybody there. That's the ideal situation. So I don't know what they'll do at this point, but that's what I would like to see. Roberto, following up with what Brian said about Tim Cook, physical labor versus mental labor are very different. Not to minimize average Joes, but the level of stress is different. Absolutely. I mean, we just had like,
true.
It's weird because we put out the same thing every day, like regardless. Like you can't tell when our workload is like pushed to its maximum because we're still putting out we're already putting out a video every day. So like they don't get to see behind the scenes. Guys. But like this fucking week towards the end was next week is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
just insane. And like you're still only going to see a video a day. What I'm working on doing though, Brian, and you might have noticed, I'm working on doing a little bit extra. Like, Front Page Tech is fun and goofy, right? I'm trying to put more of my fucking myself on the line. More like, if I'm going to call myself a fucking tech analyst, put your opinions out there and like do like really in-depth, like thorough videos. I did the one about net neutrality, which was like really important to me, regardless of how it performs. It has like 12,000 views, which is fine. And then I did this audio one just to get it out there, but I'm working on another one that'll probably be out during the weekend. Next weekend, are we gonna end up with 7 videos a week now? We're already at 6 videos a week.
Oh my god. Yeah, probably, man. I gotta start making one to keep cranking that number. Let's get to 10, motherfucker. Let's do it.
Let's just fucking do it. I mean, at what point is it too much where people are like, all right, I can't even keep up?
I think once, like, I mean, we'll get what? Subscriber burn if it's too much, right? If we start putting out too much weird shit. So, yeah. I mean, I think the audio tutorial is like the farthest we can stretch because that delves way into
that's a very specific part of the audience. Not everyone is a creator. Yeah. Vatsalia Verma said video shooting, then editing, then upload. OMG, so much work. I'm gonna really hope that that's sarcasm. Like it's pretty rough. I'm gonna give this dude the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna hope that he's being sarcastic, because if he's not being sarcastic, then I would have to be very rude. It's easy to say. It's easy to say from distance. Like some fucking shitbird, Brian. Some shitbird in the comments of my audio tutorial was like nobody wants this. You're just redoing this. You're running out of ideas, motherfucker. Like he said, YouTubers keep running out of ideas. No idea. You motherfucker. You have no idea what you're talking about. You are not a YouTuber, and you don't know anything about coming up with ideas for videos. And number 2, we can literally never run out of ideas because news is always there. We are a tech news channel. How the fuck are we going to run out of ideas? You're just an idiot. And I hate when people that aren't YouTubers go onto somebody's channel and like, oh, you're just out of ideas because I didn't think this video was totally great. Fuck off. Get out. I banned him. He's gone.
Talking about difficulty and like how hard our job is or whatever. I had a physical normal job not too incredibly long ago, and between the two, working full time 8-hour shifts a day, 5 days a week, whatever, like that was easier, even though the time worked is drastically different. Like Roberto had it on the head. Mental work versus physical work is very, very different.
So even though we work less hours, we work every day, but theoretically we work less hours. This is more stressful than like your other typical day job?
Yeah. Well, I would get done from my day job and like, okay, I'm done. I shut down, brain turns off in that sector, and then go do my thing. I never turn this off. I never turn YouTube off. Yeah. It's always thinking, always seeing ideas for a video, always thinking about editing, whatever. Like that never stops. So it's very, very different. And some days I prefer, not gonna lie, manual work to YouTube work, but just because like it's easy.
Is it like mindless to a point where it's just like someone tells you what to do and you just do it and then you're done?
It gets mindless, but it's very rotational. Like even though we're putting out the same exact show every day with a similar content formula, it's different every time in so many different aspects. Going to a job every day that is, very, very basic job is just, you get into a routine, and you can't have a routine, especially when John wakes up at 5 p.m. You can't have a routine around that. You can't predict that shit.
Well, get ready because I'm going to be waking up at 5 a.m. every day. I've been staying up all night making stupid ass videos that no one watches.
Right. Fucking Roberto, dude, you put the shit on a t-shirt. He said day jobs is reps. Working for yourself is less reps, more weight.
Oh shit.
There you go. Damn, dude.
So we're gonna wrap up the show. Thank you everyone that was tuning in. I love. Someone said John's not fucking around. Love it. I'm very protective of the brand, and especially coming from people that have no fucking idea what they're talking about. We're going to wrap up, and the post-show, if you're watching live, stick around, hang out. We're going to have Roberto Blake call in live, and we'll have him on the post-show, and I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it's Roberto, and he can talk about anything. He's welcome to talk about anything on this show. Of course, if you listened on iTunes, if you watched on YouTube, let us know. Brian, what should they comment at the end of the thing to let us know they watched it? Oh, what? Wow.
Viper for president. 2022. Wait, what is it?
Again,
it's 2020?
You're pleasing Viper too much. Type Viper for president in the comment section below to let us know you watched the whole thing. If you listen on iTunes, give us a rating, give us a review, let us know what you thought of the show. And we'll see you next week-ish sometime. Okay, bye.